You gotta release the ego. But first, what's up, beautiful people? This your favorite cousin Rich, back once again, and I hope y'all having a radiant day, because I am as well. Also, remember, if you like spiritual life coaching, you can find my contact information in the bio or the description. So, let's begin. The one thing that's probably holding you back from your true desires, the life that you want to live, all these great things, is the ego. Yes, the ego, E-G-O. Now, I know somebody's probably watching it. I don't have an ego. You know, we all have an ego. But the way that ego has always been described or displayed, it was one that was loud, obnoxious, or rambunctious. One that you could see. You know, somebody has an ego. Somebody overbearing. Someone who's outside of themselves. You know, all these things, all these connotations. That's what we always perceived or believed what ego was. To a certain extent, yes, that's what ego is for those people. Ego is a wall. Everybody has an ego. Some of us may not live in our ego. Some of us may be self-conscious and self-aware to put our ego back or put it to the side. But everybody has an ego. Everybody has the ability to have an ego. We can put it like that. So, what your ego is this wall. I don't want to say a mask, but it's this wall that you have up that protects you. A lot of times it protects your inner child. It protects your vulnerability. It protects the most vulnerable parts of you. That's why you have this wall called the ego. It's this wall that allows you to go out into the world and deal with other people, deal with situations, and not allow your inner child to be vulnerable, your inner self to be vulnerable. It's like a bulletproof vest for your vulnerability. That's what the ego is. Some people's big ego are louder and bigger than others. It all displays on who you are as a person. It's how your ego would be displayed. Some people are shy and dismissive, and that's their ego. That's just how they were raised, certain circumstances that they've come across, and that just crafted how their ego is. But everyone has the ability to have an ego. You see, the issue with ego is that it gets in the way when it's time for you to be vulnerable. And a lot of times these vulnerable moments are very life-changing moments. Now, how can your life change, or how can you take on these new adventures, these new things in life, these new pages, if your ego's in the way? You can't. You may be scared about something, so your ego pops up. You may not have enough confidence, so your ego pops up. Even with forgiveness, somebody done you wrong, your ego pops up and doesn't allow you to forgive these people. All because you're protecting your vulnerability, you're protecting your inner child. Someone has an ego of being loud and boisterous. It's because they were probably not seen as a kid. And they vowed that they would be seen as they get older. So now they overcompensate. Like I said, you'll have these people with these loud, boisterous egos, which is understandable from their point of view and their reference of where they came from. It's a protection mechanism. Protection for their vulnerability. But where this gets in the issue is where they have to put that ego down. Where they're in a situation where their ego is not going to serve them. Where you have to forgive somebody, or you have to apologize to somebody, but your ego is too big. This macho, persona that you have to protect your vulnerability is so big that you can't put it down to apologize to somebody, make a situation right, make amends with somebody. Now you're living in your ego. Now your ego is doing you a disservice. Just like somebody looking for a job, and their ego won't allow them to get a job that allow them to have some paper in their pocket. They feel like they're too good or they're too above a certain job in order for them to acquire certain resources, in order for them to live. And because they won't put that ego down in order to acquire that job, to acquire those resources, guess what? They're going to be stuck in that same loop that they've been in, of not having enough, of having lack. It might be somebody that you want to talk to, or somebody might like you, but your ego's too much in the way because you might have been hurt in past situations, Or you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable to allow people in, and now you might miss out on a good person. All because what? Your ego. Of you not allowing. Because you have that wall to protect your vulnerability. As if your vulnerability gets hurt, you're going to have to go to the hospital and put a cast on your vulnerability. No. Don't allow rejection. Don't allow disappointment. Don't allow hurt. Don't allow any of these things to block you from what you really truly desire. And like I said, the ego will block you from acquiring things that you truly want to desire. So don't let the ego stop you. Anyways, if you like spiritual life coaching, you can find my contact information in the bio of the description. I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching. This your favorite cousin Rich. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings.